Wow, has it been a minute since I've been on here. Hey everyone, what is up and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Danielle and I am a licensed cosmetologist, and I really have been wanting to do this video. I took another break from YouTube for personal reasons, but I am back, and I promise this time I am back for good and I'm going to be posting constantly. So while I'm back, I thought what better way than to post a video that I've been wanting to post forever. I did have a few other ideas in mind, but I did a poll over on my Instagram to ask you guys what you wanted to see, and you guys wanted to see this video. So as you can tell from the title, I'm going to be sitting down and talking to you guys about what us hairdressers wish you all knew as our clients. So I have seen a few of these videos done in the past, and I've also seen a few of these videos done like recently, but I figured it's 2021, there's so many new trends and things going around, so I kind of wanted to do like an updated version, like a 2021 version of the videos that I saw from like years ago. And before we get started, I just wanted to quickly say that this video is in no way, shape, or form trying to offend anybody. I know some people could view this in a different type of way, as like, oh, I think I do that, like, is that directed towards me? But this is no way, shape, or form trying to offend anyone. I'm not coming at anyone through this video. This is specifically just things that us hairdressers wish clients knew before coming in, just to make your experience a lot better, to make the hairdresser's experience with you better, and just to have the overall experience better. So I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure to hit that big red subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up at the end if you enjoyed, and make sure to follow me on all of my social medias. I always have them linked down below. So without further ado, let's get started. So I have quite a few things that I want to touch base upon in my notes. So if you see me looking at my phone, that is why. So the way I kind of want to do it is start from like the very beginning, before you even arrive to your appointment, all the way until when you leave the appointment. That way it's really easy to follow and you understand what I'm trying to say. So the first thing I have is that products at home are going to affect everything during your service. Obviously, this probably won't affect anything if you're coming in and just getting a haircut, but if you are receiving any sort of color or highlight service, the products that you use at home are going to affect some things. So for example, if you use products such as sun-in, box dye, shampoos and conditioners with dimethicone, I think that's how you pronounce it, just simple products like that, you need to let your hairdresser know about, because especially something as specific as sun-in, if you love to use sun-in during the summer to get that natural highlight from the sun, you need to let your hairdresser know, because it could damage your hair the second you put lightener on it. So products like that, you just need to keep in mind that even if you think it's fine and you use it every day and your hair's not falling out, so it's like, oh, that's no big deal, I don't need to let my hairdresser know about that. No, you need to let your hairdresser know about that. Sometimes the hairdresser will ask like, oh, what are your products at home? What kind of shampoo and conditioner do you use? And then you would answer. But even if the hairdresser does not ask you those questions, do not be scared to be like, oh, I just wanted to let you know that I use this, this, and this at home. Is that going to affect anything? Because then they're going to appreciate you 10 times more, because you have that knowledge of like, oh, I should probably let you know that I used sun-in last summer and I really want to go platinum blonde today, so let me know. So just keep your hairdresser in the loop of what you use at home. Now, the next thing is when you arrive to the appointment. Obviously, if you come to your appointment on time, we are going to absolutely love you. If you come in a few minutes early, we're also going to love you. We may not be like 100% ready. We might have to disinfect a few things before you sit down, or we may still be with a client. So if you do come early, like 10 minutes, just expect that we may be with someone still. So your appointment isn't technically for another 10 minutes. So just keep that in mind. But arriving late does affect us and our mindset. What I mean by mindset is if someone is on a very tight schedule and they have, let's say, 4 clients in one day, but they're all back to back to back. So if you come to your appointment 20, 30 minutes late, it's going to affect a lot of things, and it's going to affect our mindset, because in our head, we're just going to be thinking about, okay, I just lost 20, 30 minutes, so I need to be on my A game, get this done before my next client comes in so that they're not waiting. So it kind of just has like a small setback on the whole experience itself, because all we're really thinking about is like, okay, we need to make sure we have enough time to finish this, make it look amazing, and then have time for our next client to come. Honestly, like 5 to 10 minutes if you're late, we could totally understand. But 20 to 30 minutes if you're late is a lot. Every minute counts when you're a hairdresser, so just keep that in mind. If anything does happen and you're running late, all you have to do is just let your hairdresser know ahead of time, and honestly, the experience will be the same, because we know that you took the time out of your day to let us know that you're going to be late or you're running a few minutes behind. But if you don't let us know and we're like, where is this girl? Like, oh, maybe she's not coming, so I'll just eat my lunch. And then you show up 30 minutes late and we're like all mind boggled. You know what I mean? So if you are running late, just let your hairstylist know ahead of time. And this kind of goes into it too. I didn't really have this down, but now that I'm talking about it, if you are not going to show up to the appointment, please let us know. Don't just not show up. You know what I mean? I get things happen. I totally understand. And if it is a circumstance where you can't tell us that you can't show up, maybe let us know the day after or 2 days after, and be like, oh, something happened and I couldn't come. You don't even have to tell us what happened. Just say, something happened, I'm so sorry, I did not show up, I apologize. Don't just not show up, not say anything, and think it's fine and dandy. For me, it's not as bad because I don't rent my own chair. I do hourly / commission, but for the girls who rent a chair, I feel so bad if someone just doesn't show up and doesn't say anything, because they rent that chair. Their time being there, they need to spend their money to rent the chair and to be there. So if you don't show up, that hurts them in the long run. So just seeing that, I feel so bad if that ever happens. But yes, if you're not going to show up and you are able to let your hairdresser know, please let them know. For the consultation part of your experience, the consultation is literally the most important part of your service. I know it may seem crazy to you. You guys may think that doing the legit service is the most important part, but the consultation honestly is. So be prepared for your hairdresser to ask you a few questions. Don't be like, oh my god, how many more questions is this girl gonna freaking ask me? Because in the long run, we need to know every answer to every question so that we can make your experience the best it can be. And we want to know exactly what you want. So if we ask, are you looking for warm or cool tones in your hair? Are you looking for highlights more blended and balayage? Do you want highlights straight to the root? With your haircut, do you want to see this? Do you want to see that? We are going to ask you quite a few questions. I know I do, because since my clientele isn't really set in stone, I get new people all the time. Like, it's not the same handful of people that come every so many weeks, and I already know what they want. I know what they use for their hair. I know what they, I know what they want. It's not that situation for me. I have a new person every single day. I do have a few clients that have been coming in consistently to get like haircuts and stuff like that, but most of the time everyone is new. So I ask a lot of questions. It makes me feel confident, and it's just something that helps me in the long run. So just letting you know, we are going to ask you lots of questions, so be prepared and be ready, and tell the truth, okay? Tell the truth, guys. It's all we ask. If you come in and you want level 9 hair, which in our terms is very blonde, and you have hair like mine, even darker hair like mine, honestly, and we ask you, have you ever done like box dye or anything like that at home, or even at another salon? Have you gotten color? Just be honest. That's literally all we ask. If you have done box dye, semi-permanent, permanent, anything, just let us know, because if you lie and say, no, I didn't, like, it's fine, my hair will lift perfectly, for the most part, we're going to trust you. We may do test strands to just double check. Some may not. I always do test strands, so that's just my thing. But if some don't, and then they're lightening the hair and realize, like, oh my god, they used box dye, this is not gonna work. It's just so much easier to just tell the truth straight out the bat and figure everything out then and there, rather than lighten your whole hair to then find out. You know what I mean? So the consultation is just huge. Be honest and expect lots of questions. Okay, so now getting into haircuts. I have a few things to talk about haircut. So the first thing is that a haircut is a haircut, okay? The second your hairstylist takes out her scissors, it is considered a haircut. In the previous videos that I have watched, they have all talked about this, but it is just so important to know that a trim is the same thing as a haircut. A dusting is the same thing as a haircut. The only thing that is different is usually a bang trim. So if you have bangs and you come in like 2 or 3 weeks and they're just a little long for your liking and they're bothering your eyes, usually hairstylists or hair salons will have a bang trim option, which my salon does, which is great. But if you come in and you're like, yeah, my hair is looking a little dead at the ends, maybe just like a dusting, I just want a dusting done, just know that you are going to get charged a haircut. This may vary, okay? May vary for different hairstylists and different salons, but for most, a haircut is a haircut regardless of how much hair you're cutting off. If we're cutting off 1/4 of an inch, if we're cutting off 10 inches, you're gonna pay the same price, because as crazy as it sounds to you guys, we still have to do the same exact amount of work and like do the same 3 sections, or whichever way you like to cut hair. I cut hair in 3 different sections usually. So no matter how much hair I'm cutting off, I'm going to do the same process. So it takes the same amount of time and work. So it will be charged a haircut. If you're a hairdresser watching this, I just wanted to mention this. If your client does come in and they're like, oh, okay, I just want a trim, I just want a dusting, if it makes you feel more comfortable letting them know ahead of time, okay, like just to let you know, it still is considered a haircut. I honestly would probably say that just so that my client knows and you don't have to deal with like the aftermath after already doing the haircut and they're like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be this much for a dusting. Like, if you feel more confident letting them know ahead of time, just do it. Like, it's fine. They'll understand. If they're not okay with it, then you just say, oh, okay. then we'll just do the color that we wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? So just say it ahead of time if it makes you more confident. Okay, now, the #1 trend right now in hair is definitely curtain bangs. And what I wanted to say about curtain bangs is knowing the difference between curtain bangs and face frame pieces. Curtain bangs can be in various lengths. You can have really short curtain bangs, like around your eyebrow. You can have curtain bangs around like under your eye and the highest point of your cheek area. Or you could have really long curtain bangs and have them kind of like frame above your jaw kind of. But a lot of people get mixed up with curtain bangs and face framing pieces. So for me, when I do face framing, let's say, I always ask, what would you like your shortest piece to be? And usually I get a response of like right below my chin area, which I would consider that face framing, because you're taking the shortest length from under the chin and you're letting it frame the face going down. But with curtain bangs, they're shorter, so you're literally having like a bang and then the rest of your hair falls with like subtle face framing pieces just to let it blend a little bit better. But with curtain bangs, like you're literally going to have bangs that frame your face. No, it's not going to be like straight across bangs, you know what I mean? But just know the difference between face frame and curtain bangs, because I know it gets a little confusing. And another thing I wanted to say is just know that curtain bangs require maintenance, okay? You're most likely going to have to style them pretty much every single day to get them to curve away from your face, just with like a blow dryer or some product. And I do like to let my clients know that it does require maintenance, because some people just aren't into doing that. Like some people don't want to style their hair every day or put product in their hair all the time. But if you want your curtain bangs to look styled the way your hairdresser does it, you're going to have to do some sort of maintenance at home. So just keep that in mind too. Okay, now, very, very important stuff coming up. This is word for word, okay? You are not, N-O-T, going to lift 4 to 5 levels in one service. This is so important. This does not go, okay, let me rephrase. This does not go for every hairstylist, okay? And yes, of course, it depends on the client's hair, okay? But if you come in with darker hair than me and you want an all over platinum blonde, which is the highest level of 10, okay, it is 90% of the time not going to work or not going to happen. The only reason I say this is because your hairdresser wants what's best for you, and they want to keep your hair at the healthiest state that it can be in. So to go from really, really dark hair, like darker than mine, to go all the way to platinum, it is going to compromise the integrity of your hair, okay? That's all I have to say. Some hairdressers might do it, some might not. Like, it really just depends on the situation. Same thing goes when, like, if a client sees a picture online and it's something that's just not realistic for the hair that they have right now. Like, maybe in 2 to 3 services you can get there, but in just one service, it's not very realistic. So if you're looking at a picture online, sometimes it's a wig. Sometimes it's not even their real hair in that picture that you find online. It's probably just a wig. So it's kind of hard to be like, okay, shows the picture, this is what I want, and it's a wig. Like, you can totally tell it's a wig. So it's just important to know that you can have that mindset, and like, you can absolutely come in and say, okay, so like, this is my hair and I'm thinking about going platinum. There is nothing wrong with coming in and saying that. You can come out and say it. Be like, I want to be platinum, period. You can say that. But just don't be offended or upset if your hairstylist is like, okay, well, that's probably not going to happen today, but maybe in 2 to 3 services. Just putting that out there. Then the next thing I have is your hair is going to look different in different lightings. So if you guys check out my Instagram page, artistry.by.danielle, you will see that all of my pictures are in daylight in front of a window. So basically, I would consider that like natural sunlight. I do have one picture though, which I was hesitant of posting, but then I realized, you know what? I'm going to post this because it shows that hair does look different in every single lighting. So that one picture I posted was very late at night. I want to say it was like 5 or 6 at night, so it was dark. We did have lighting within the salon, so that's kind of the light that picked up in the picture, but it was just a lot darker than my normal pictures. But the hair still looked beautiful. So your hair can look beautiful no matter what, but it's going to look different in every lighting source. It's going to look different when it's cloudy, when it's bright and sunny, when you're inside and it's dark, when you're in the car, when you're in your room. Like, it's literally going to look different in every lighting. And I also do like to tell my clients that, because sometimes if you do their hair, you take the picture and you show them like, oh, look at the beautiful pictures that I just took of your hair, and they're like, oh my god, I love it. And then the next day they're like, hey, yeah, so I'm in my room and it just doesn't look like those pictures that you posted. It's gonna look different everywhere. So just keep that in mind. Your hair is still going to look absolutely beautiful, but it just might look like a tiny bit different because it doesn't have crazy natural bright lighting. You know what I mean? And this next thing goes into it too, where your hair is going to look different curled versus straight. This is another thing too. I like to post here and there like some straight haired pictures, some curled hair pictures. Usually I like it curled just because it looks so much better. But I do like to add some straight hair pictures in there too, just so you can see like, oh, this is the difference. Same thing when my client is sitting in the chair, I will blow dry their hair, usually straight, and then I'll show them it straight in the mirror so that they know what it looks like. And then I will curl their hair so they know what it looks like both ways. So just keep that in mind too, that your hair is going to look different curled, because when you do curl it, you get that underneath color, which we like to call dimension. So it's just going to look different, okay? So I wrote shampoo bowl and moving a ton during your process. Basically what I mean by shampoo bowl etiquette, oh my god. Okay, so if you're sitting in the shampoo bowl, number one thing, don't look back and stare at us. It makes us very uncomfortable. And it's just like, I just don't know what to do. So you're like sitting back, you know, we're washing your hair, giving you a nice massage, and you're just like this, looking at us. Just a little creepy, okay? Just a little creepy. Just a little bit, okay? So just try not to do that. I mean, if you're talking to us and like here and there you look up at us to make sure we're still paying attention, like, I get that. But don't stare at us the whole time. Just a little creepy. Next, shampoo, yeah, that's a word. Shampoo bowl etiquette is when we're going underneath your hair. So around this area, trying to get all of the product out and stuff like that. Honestly, just stay where you are. I know it's like in your head to lift up because they're getting under there, but sometimes if you lift too much and we're under there, we could have a better chance of like accidentally getting you a little bit wet underneath here. So honestly, just stay where you are, and then if your hairdresser is like, oh, do you mind just lifting a tiny bit and then lifting your head, just so we have a good grip of like where we are. But if we're just doing our own thing and you move your head like crazy up, we might get you soaked by accident. So just keep that in mind. And again, this goes into the moving a ton during your process. No matter what we're doing, if you're doing a haircut, color service, like literally anything, just try not to like move a lot, you know, like go like this. Be like, oh my god, I just heard that you got a dog. Especially when we're doing a haircut. Color service, like if you do it a few times, no big deal. We might say something like, oh, like just stay still for a few minutes. But a haircut, oh my god, please just stay put. Especially if we're like, okay, can you just keep your head down a little bit like this? Don't move it up and be like, so did you get a house? Did you get that house you were talking about? Just trust me. The 5 minutes that it takes to do a little chop chop, you know, just keep your head super straight and still. It'll help us so much, and it'll make your hair look perfect, you know what I'm saying? Even sometimes I feel so bad, even with men cuts, oh my god, I feel so bad sometimes because I don't say a word. I'm like just so in the zone. I know if I end up saying something, you just like tend to move your body when you talk, so I don't say a word, and then mid-service I'll be like, I'm so sorry, I'm not talking, I'm just super focused right now. Like anytime I cut hair, I just don't ever say anything and I'm super focused, and usually the client will be like, oh no, it's totally fine, like I understand. So half the time they'll be fine, but just try not to move a lot during the service. It helps us so much. Okay, now the last thing I want to talk about is at the very end of your service, and that is about rebooking. So say you are a gray coverage client and you come in, you get your grays covered, maybe you get a haircut, and you loved the way it turned out. Most of the time we will have you pay, and then we may ask, all right, would you like to come in for 6 or 8 weeks, or would you like to rebook another appointment? And usually some people will say, oh my god, absolutely. And then sometimes people might be like, oh, I'll just book an appointment when I'm ready. And honestly, it is so much easier to just rebook an appointment right at the salon then and there. You can even pick how many weeks out you want. If you want 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 20, whatever you want. And then once it comes closer, if you know you can't make it, then you can change it. But it's just easier to do it then and there because you're like, oh, it's been 6 weeks. Oh, crap, but I forgot to make an appointment. I need to make an appointment. And then you go to look, and we're full. Or we don't have an available time that you're available. You know what I mean? Then you'll have to wait even longer. So it's so much easier to just rebook straight at the salon, and then if something does come up, like I said, you can always change it in the long run. Alright you guys, so that is it for this video. I know it was a bit of a lengthy video, but I really wanted to post this for you guys, and you guys wanted to see it as well. So if you did enjoy, again, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a huge thumbs up, and again, don't forget to follow me on all of my social medias. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.